And we're back. Okay. Hi. Let me press record. Okay. She going? She going. Okay. Let's get in here. All right, make sure my phone. Okay. All right. Let me tell you about the day my vagina changed. Okay, like today we're gonna be drinking a nooner because we're talking about these things. Okay, here we go. But first, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of you who reached out with so much love and support regarding the loss of my dad. Many of you shared stories about the loss of your parents, and it just made me feel so not alone. And I really appreciate that. There was paragraphs and paragraphs, I was showing Mr. Wright, of people who wrote me things that were just so genuine and so sweet, and it really helps me. I'm not going to say I'm thriving, right? Like I miss my dad. There's definitely a lot of moments to be expected, but the encouragement and love and support that you guys have shown me has really helped and meant so much to me. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Really appreciate it. Also, I want to say thank you to those of you who have bought Wanda. We love her. And you've shared, oh my God, what a mess. She's a mess. She's had some, she's been through some things. Good Lord. Anyways, those of you who have shared how you got Wanda and how much you love her too, or sending me pictures of your unboxing, I absolutely love that. She's seriously a favorite, especially with me and Mr. Wright right now. And yeah, go grab one if you don't have one. Over on tracysdog.com, use code CRAVERS20 and get 20% off your entire order. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Okay, so today we're gonna get really TMI. That's saying something for me on this show, I know. But I wanna talk to you about the days, because there's been several, that my vagina has changed. And this isn't some like super sexy conversation. This is a real deal, what to expect when you're 40, things that your body will go through, and just an open and honest talk, because I feel like it is vital to discuss. Since I've been opening myself up and being brave to share with my friends, because I was like, oh my God, like this sucks, what am I going through? Every single person I've talked to has said, oh yeah, I've had that. Or, yeah, I struggle with that. Or, oh my gosh, Adrienne, sex is so painful for me now. Or, yeah, I feel like, a dry cactus anymore. And it's like, we're all going through this and like these changes, and there are things that you can do about them. But I want you to know, if you're going through some changes, you're not alone. We're in this together, and you're not broken. And I've been doing things and working on things, so I'm here to share that with you today. I guess let's start with when I just started noticing some like different changes in my vagina. This is like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. I would find that after sex, I would have like these little micro tears, and it was fucking painful. I remember I went to the doctor, Dr. Moore, who you guys met on the show, and I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And she was like, Adrienne, it might be herpes. And I was like, well, shit, like, let's take care of this. She's like, slight tears could be herpes. And I'm like, okay. So I got tested, and it came back negative. And I was like stumped. I was like, well, what could it be? And she was like, I think, you're just having some estrogen changes, but you're not ready for that yet. Cause I was like 35, 34. And she was like, let's get you some clobetasol. So let me show you this cream. This is clobetasol. I can't say this. Proportionate ointment or propia. I don't know how to say it. I'm not gonna say it. But this is like a topical that you put on. Like I would put it on like, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a week whenever I remembered. And every time after sex. And it really helped. It stopped the tearing. It gave me my elasticity back. Life was good, okay? And it's not messy either, and I really like that. So again, that's called clobetasol. And things were great, right? Like things were cool. About 2 years ago, I had a hysterectomy in 2023, but even before that, I started noticing, and I would joke with, Katina, my other girlfriends about it. I was peeing like every time I coughed, every time I sneezed, jumped, laughed too hard. Like it was, to the point where it was just like, wow, I guess this is the, normal. And like my friends who had babies would say, oh, Adrienne, I pee my pants all the time too. No big deal. About a year ago, I started noticing it getting significantly worse, to the point where I would be like, I gotta go change my pants. over the last 6 months, it's gotten exponentially worse. And I'm beating myself up about not getting help sooner. If you are suffering with incontinence, like please, like go talk to your doctor and speak with your doctor immediately. Like it's worth it. And they have these things called urogynecologists. I didn't know they existed, but they do, and they can help you. It's not normal to pee your pants like this all the time. I remember I was at a Redskins game. I think I even talked about it on the show. Again, jokingly, like, haha, I peed my pants. I literally peed my pants to the point where it was like down my jeans. And Mr. Wright was like, Adrian, he was like, oh my God. And I was like, I know. I was jumping up and down and screaming at the same time. It was too much. But again, I kind of just brushed it off. Well, when we were in Disney World, we were doing the drinking around the world thing, and we came back on the Skyliner, and I remember Mr. Wright did something really funny, and I was laughing hysterically, like that laugh that you can't control, and then he was laughing, and then I was laughing harder, and all of a sudden, I had no control, and I just peed everywhere. Like, it was dripping on the floor. I was so embarrassed. I was frantic. Luckily, I had like a wet naps in my bag, and I was like cleaning. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and I went home, and I was like, holy shit, like, that's not, I didn't have control over that. Like, this is not normal. Well, we all know that my life blew up when I got home and I was dealing with all kinds of stuff. And I remember I was on my way to the funeral home or the cemetery, and I was like, let me look down there and like see what's going on. Like, what is going on down there? Because I was like feeling irritated and just like not me. I don't know why I looked. But I looked and I noticed that my vagina opening had changed. Okay? So I'm like freaking out, and like I could like see my urethra more. And I'm like, wait a minute, like it did not always look like that. What's happening? And it was an emotional roller coaster for me. I remember I went like running into the bedroom, spread my legs, and I was like, Mr. Wright, I was like, look right now. I was like, seriously. And he was like, Adrian, I don't notice anything. And it's funny because like to him, he's not all up in there looking, studying the way I have my entire 43 years on this earth. And I was like, no, like it has changed. And he was like, it hasn't changed. I remember he like stuck his dick in it and he was like, feels the same. And I was like, yeah, like that's fine. But like, what is going on with me? Well, then I didn't have time to think about it or do anything about it. I was in my head about it. I'll tell you that for sure. Feeling like maybe my vagina was falling out. And then I started Googling, which is like never a good thing. And I was like, holy shit, I have a prolapse. I was like, oh my God, like I had a hysterectomy. I definitely have like a bladder prolapse. This is the end of my life. I'm gonna have to have another surgery. Spiraling. Don't even get me started on the Reddit boards. Like, don't go there. Okay. So I made an appointment with my doctor, my OBGYN, Dr. Moore, and I went in there and I was like, I had already been texting with her and I was like, oh my God. And I sent her pictures and she was like, Adrian, everything looks normal to me. And I was like, no, I was like, it's not normal. Like, this looks different to me. So I go in, she does a physical exam and she's like, Adrian, you're completely normal. She's like, it's not a prolapse. I didn't believe her because I'm a psychopath. And I was like, nope, I'll prove her right because I'm telling you, something has changed, okay? And she did say to me, she goes, Adrian, your vagina is going to change several times in your life. She was like, my vagina now does not look like it did 3 kids ago. Now, I never had a vaginal delivery, so I don't know that experience. But a lot of my girlfriends who have, like, they're like, yeah, my vagina looks nothing like it used to. And I'm like, what? Like, mine's always looked the same. And so I was encouraged because she said it wasn't a prolapse, but I was also like, well, what is it? And why am I peeing my pants like this? And why does it look different? So I booked an appointment with a urogynecologist. And I went in there and he was wonderful. Instantly fell in love with him. Great guy. They did an ultrasound. He did like all the exams where you bear down, you do all these things. And he looks at me and he's like, you're completely normal. And I felt like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because I'm like, I don't fucking feel normal. And I was like, I feel like my vagina's falling out. And he was like, no. He was like, your vaginal vault is perfect. He was like, what you have and what you're seeing is a slight drop in your anterior wall. He was like, most women already have this. He's like, sometimes it happens. He was like, have you been having problems with incontinence? And I was like, yes. I was like, I've been peeing my pants all the time. And he was like, unfortunately, I think the pressure, and I also had a cough for like 3 months. I was sick. Remember, you guys know I was sick as a dog, missing episodes and all kinds of stuff. And he was like, he said, for some strange reason, he was like, you have like a laxicity issue and your interior wall dropped a little bit. He's like, it's not abnormal. It's not a prolapse, whatever. So long story short, okay, he started me on what he calls pixie dust for the vagina, and that is estrogen cream. I had heard about estrogen cream, cream patches, little like pills that you can put up there. I don't know. There's all kinds of different shit. God, in my next life, please let me have a dick. Like, I just want a big dick. Medium-sized balls, but a big dick. I don't ever want to have a vagina again. Okay. Anyways, the estrogen cream, that was like it's like I have a tick. That's my tick. And he was like, okay, I want you to use this. Use it for 2 weeks continuously, and then for maintenance twice a week. At first I was like, oh my gosh, like another cream to put up there, and then I'm using this one. But he said, like, put this up there and then also all around. And I was like, okay, so I stuck with it and I've been doing it, and it has changed my life, okay? I can't even tell you, like, I haven't peed my pants in, since I had an appointment, like, it's been almost 2 months. Like, I have not peed my pants. And that's huge for me, okay? And also, he started me on what's called pelvic floor therapy. And I was like, what kind of therapy? Like, what am I going to be doing? And so it's like regular PT. I got set up with this amazing doctor, Dr. Jamie. And actually, you guys, she's agreed to come on the show. I'm super excited. And I was thinking, like, I'm just going to go there and do a bunch of Kegel exercises. But it has been a completely different experience. We've been doing workouts and getting back into jumping, squatting, lunging, all kinds of different stuff. But what it's doing is it's retraining my pelvic floor and also strengthening at the same time. I do want to share something with you because I know a lot of women are like, what's pelvic floor therapy? What have you been learning? And I'm going to teach you something really quick that you can do every day. Like Dr. Jamie says, do it every day. So the first thing, so it's 3 movements. The first thing you're going to do is stand, like, just your feet hip wide apart, stand very comfortably. And by the way, I do these in the shower. Nobody even knows. And you're going to do, they call it attic and then the basement. We'll talk about that in a minute. But you're going to stand for 30 seconds and just do a Kegel and hold it for 30 seconds 3 times. So pull all the way up to the attic and hold for 30 seconds and do that 3 times. Next, something that she taught me that I really love is it's called basement to attic. And it's with like the special breathing that you do. I had no idea about this. So when you are going to basement, which isn't like straining and pushing at all, it's just a comfortable drop in your pelvic floor, you're going to breathe in. And it takes some getting used to. So, and then squeeze up. So you're going to breathe in as you bear down a little bit. That's your basement. Remember, not pushing, not squeezing. My God. And then when you breathe out, you're going to squeeze all the way back up to that attic again. Take some time to get used to, but it's worth it, okay? And I'm telling you, like, it's made me more confident down there too. Like, just knowing that, like, okay, I can move things. Nothing's gonna fall out. Nothing's gonna change. And so you're gonna wanna do that basement to attic breathing. Remember, inhale as you're going to basement. Exhale as you're going to attic. You're gonna do that 10 times. And then last, you're gonna go from neutral, so not the basement, just neutral to attic, neutral to attic. You're gonna do, she calls them flicks. You're gonna do 2 sets of 10. And like, not like quick as fast as you can. It's more of just like getting a good solid 10 flicks in. And that's it. Like, that's all you have to do every day. And it's not that big of a deal. Like I said, I do it in the shower. And I'm telling you right now, I've been doing this for 3 weeks consistently. It's been a game changer. I feel super strong down there. I feel like my core is getting stronger. And like I said, I haven't been peeing my pants. So like, that to me is better than anything. And let's talk about the mental mind fuck that is, oh my God, my vagina changed. Like, one of my biggest fears, for sure, like when I was like, look down there, Mr. Right, like, oh my God, something's wrong, is sex gonna be painful? Is this gonna get worse? You know, am I broken? Am I ever gonna have great sex again? What about my orgasms? Like, is this gonna impact my orgasms? And I'm happy to say that none of the above has happened. I will say though that the pelvic floor therapy has given me the confidence back for that. So I really, really highly recommend, and I cannot reiterate this again. A lot of my friends are going through this, whether it's painful sex, dryness, you know, peeing problems, urethra changes, vaginal opening entrance changes. Like, there's so much, or even a prolapse, right? Like, there's so much you can go through that I had no idea about. Like, it's like new fear unlocked, right? But I want to say, sex has been comfortable. Mr. Right hasn't noticed a single thing. I will tell you, there's something, cravers. I have noticed that I can orgasm faster now. And also, I noticed, like, and I've thought about, and I probably did this to myself, I would always bear down, like, trying to achieve orgasm. Or, okay, squirting. I will never be trying to achieve that again. And it happens naturally for me still, but like, I'm not going to be like, you know, doing anything where I'm bearing down. Because I do feel like I used to like bear down to try to reach climax. I regret those days because I do feel like I probably weakened my pelvic floor doing that. So no more bearing down for me. Luckily, I've been achieving orgasms quicker. I've noticed that, and then sex hasn't changed, and I'm just praying it stays that way. Because, like, I mean, I am still kind of scared. Like, I'm like, oh my God, if it can change, like, what else could change? And like having a hysterectomy, like, you're prone to getting bladder prolapse or even a rectal prolapse. Like, I'm telling you again, do not research it. Don't do it to yourself. Unless you have like a big prescription of Xanax and you can like take the edge off with the rest of your. But I'm just saying. So it's been a different fucking like experience for me, like this whole thing. And then when I started talking about it, which by the way I was scared, I mean, it's embarrassing. I'm like, oh my God, like my vagina looks a little different down there, and not that anybody would notice, but I fucking notice. And also I did kind of feel like that like phantom tampon feeling where it was like stuff falling out, and I feel like pelvic floor therapy has really helped. I will say this, if you were over the age of 40, please talk to your doctor about estrogen cream. Not only does it, you know, help with, you know, the elasticity, it keeps everything right and tight down there. My friends say that it makes them wetter. I haven't noticed that because I haven't really had too much of a problem with that, but I do want to say, like, I don't have to use this clobetasol anymore because the estrogen cream does everything for me. So like my urogyno said, pixie dust indeed. So, all right, that's my story. I just wanted to share it. And also I do want to say this, you are so not alone. If you want to reach out to me over on Instagram at Midlife Craving, send me a DM. Like, I would love to talk to you about this and even share more of my experience. If you go to my website, midlifecraving.com, you can reach out to me there via email. Just please know that you're not alone. And this is so normal. Like, I can't even tell you. And like, women that are young, like who just had babies and like their, you know, their vagina changed. Like it's a very isolating and it's a very taboo thing. You know, I read a statistic that only 10% of women speak with their gynecologist or doctor about sexual dysfunction. And that's not okay. Like, they're going to be there to help us. So again, if you're over the age of 40, talk to your doctor about estrogen. If you notice anything changing down there, if you're peeing your pants all the time, that is not normal, and it's not funny either. I regret not taking it seriously, and so know that that's not okay, and go talk to your doctor about it. And you know, there's just lots of different things you can do to take care of your sexual health. Just speak up about it, and there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken, and there's just lots of ways to get fixed too. And so the cream is great. I will say there is like residue, and one of the things I don't like about it is that like I kind of feel like it's still there like the next night, and so I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna have sex, and I'm thinking like, and I hate that. I hate the planning crap, and thinking about like, am I gonna have sex tomorrow? I'm not sure, because like I want to be ready to fuck, you know. So I'm gonna try the tablets. I'll let you know how that's going for me. But lots of different things to talk about. And just remember, I'm your sex positive bestie. I'm here to chat. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I think it's important to talk about, because the moment that this was happening, I was like, oh my God, like sex is everything to me. I mean, really. And it's like a vital part of any relationship. And especially like my sex life with Mr. Right is just so important to me. Like, it's, you know, a priority. And it was funny because after going through everything that I did with my dad, I mean, naturally, you know, I'm not going to be in the mood or even have the time. You know, I was living in hospice, and it just wasn't happening. And I remember it was about it was a week after my dad's funeral. I said, hey, you know, this night let's get out the swing. Like, we hadn't had sex in 2 weeks. I think that is by far the longest we've ever gone. And I was like, we're going to get out the swing. We're going to watch some porn. I have Wanda. And we banged it out for over an hour. I mean, it was one of the best sessions. I told him too. I was like, top 10. Like, that was top 10. He was like, fuck yeah. And I remember we were going out afterwards, and we were in the car, and he was like holding my hand, and I said, I feel so close to you right now. Like, I mean, I felt really close to him, which is weird. I felt super close to him going through all that I did, of course, but you know, that physical connection, that intimacy is so important. And I said to him, I was like, I feel like I'm back. Like, we're back, baby. And he was like, me too. He's like, I feel like, you know, our world is back on its axis. And I was like, yes. So it's so important. Like, your sex life is so vital, and we have to talk about it. And again, I'm here if you want to chat with me. Okay. So let's talk about what's next. I'm super excited because Zach is back. He's coming over Tuesday, and the day this episode drops, he's coming over. We're going to be in the studio. Zach has opened up his marriage, and he has so much to share. So I'm very excited about that. Also, Mai is coming back, and we're going to talk about dating, of course. And, you know, she's out there in these streets just like I was. And we're going to discuss a lot about that. And also, I really want to speak about black cat energy. Okay. And good dating practices and ways to level up, because I swear it really works, you know, and I'm not just, I've shared my journey with you guys, but I truly think the way that I found love with Mr. Right was because of my standards, because of my core values, and because of the lack of bullshit that I ever tolerated in the dating game. And I changed that, and that was new. So we'll talk about that. And then I want to do an episode, not about scheduling sex, although I'd recommend, it's like not scheduling sex, but Mr. Wright and I were talking about it. It's more like reminder sex. So for instance, Mr. Wright's at work right now. And I said to him, hey, tomorrow, don't forget, I want morning sex, Sunday morning, I want morning sex. And he was like, Adrian, because I was like, is that scheduling sex? He's like, it's not really scheduling, because it's not like at 9:30, meet me here. He was like, but it's a reminder. And he was like, and I like it, because you'll text me and say, hey, blowjob tomorrow afternoon. Or, we're going to fuck in the swing on Friday night. Can't wait. He was like, it's just the excitement of the reminders that you give. And we give each other. But so we're going to talk about reminder sex. I'm going to give you lots of tips and tricks and share some details there. So I'm looking forward to this. Again, thank you so much for all of the love and support. It's meant so much to me. It feels so good to be back. I will see you next Tuesday. Okay. We done. I was talking so much and so fucking fast, I didn't even have time to drink my drink. Cheers to that.